One of the biggest reasons that a photo can feel off, even when the lighting is good and the image is sharp, is because the photo is not properly balanced, right? And balance is kind of one of those things that people, feel immediately the moment that they look at an image, right? But you can't really always explain why, it's balanced, or as the viewer, they can't really tell why they like the image. It all comes down to that balance, right? So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you in photography terms, what balance is in the simplest way possible, using the three main types of balance: visual weighted balance, right? Symmetrical balance, as well as asymmetrical balance, and radial balance. All right. These are some of the frameworks I think that we talk about in PNG University. I'll leave the link down below and I'll talk more about them later. If you understand these things right here, you are able to compose a shot so much better, and it won't be accidental composition, it will be intentional composition. So what is balance is the first question, right? Balance in photography is how the visual elements are distributed in a frame, so that way the image feels more stable instead of feeling more, heavy on one side or awkward or making the viewer feel uncomfortable when looking at it, right? Balance does not mean that it's equal in size on both sides. It does not mean that it has, takes up the equal amount of space on both sides, but what it does mean is that it has an equal visual weight on an image, right? This is one of those things that's kind of hard to understand. This is actually one of the hardest frameworks and rules for me to understand when it comes to composition and framing, right? So your eye does not measure size, it measures the importance. When viewing something on a frame, your eye goes directly to the thing that's most important to it first, and then sees everything else in the frame later, right? So balance and visual weight. The easiest way to understand balance is to imagine a vertical line going straight down the center of the image. Think of your photo kind of like a scale, right? One side feels heavier than the other, and the image will feel unbalanced if one side's heavier than the other. But here's the key. Heavier does not always mean bigger, right? So just because it feels heavier or it has more, physical weight to it, it does not always mean it has to be bigger, right? We're going based off of importance, right? Meaning the amount of space that it occupies in the image, right? The images or the object that we see inside of this one singular image, the importance of that object is what helps you establish this balance and this visual weight, right? So what are some things that kind of create visual weight, right? Certain things that naturally, just pull more attention. These are things that, feel visually heavy without being physically visually heavy, such as people's faces, right? The first thing you look at in an image, you might look directly at the person or their face. That has visual weight, right? Brighter colors or higher contrast areas in an image will carry visual weight. Sharp focus, bold or saturated colors, just certain objects that are near the edge of the frame or within the rule of thirds grid or fall on that golden line. If you guys don't know about the golden line, link down below, more on that later, right? Objects near the edge of the frame can also, give that extra importance and hold visual weight. Things that have a lighter form of visual weight would be empty space and or negative space, the sky, the water, right? Soft textures, neutral colors, or blurred areas. These have a lighter visual weight. They don't carry or hold as much weight as the others that were listed prior, right? But these all can make an image overall balanced, right? A small person can outweigh a huge building, right? A small person can outweigh a huge building because of the visual weight. That person has more importance than this big building. Or for example, when we were in class the other day, right? I had an example of a tree and a couple, right? The couple outweighed the tree in importance because they are people, right? So just because they're smaller does not mean they have less importance than the bigger tree, because they're people, right? So they both equate. They both equate and they both can create that visual weight being on separate sides of the image. I'll show you guys one of those, right? So for example, imagine that the right side of your image has a large building, a shoreline, some sand, a little ocean vibes like that. And on the left side, you have a couple sitting on the beach with the sky and the water. Even though the building is physically bigger than the subject, or, maybe it's more in the view side, or it's a building, physically in real life, it will be bigger than the subject. In this image, it feels balanced because the people will carry more of the visual weight. Your eyes go to the people and look at the overall image to make the image overall balanced, right? This is not symmetrical, but it is balanced, all right? But if we're going to go ahead and mosey on into symmetrical since we're talking about it anyways. When it comes to symmetrical balance, right? Let's talk about symmetrical balance. Symmetry is when both sides of one singular image mirror each other, right, across that central axis, right? You got grass, you got grass. You got trees, you got trees. It looks the exact same on both sides. You put your subject in the middle, you fold it over. That is a symmetrical image, okay? So I have one of these images from one of our members' pack. I'm gonna put on the screen for you guys to see. This right here is a symmetrical image. She's on a bridge, and you can see the subject in the middle, and you split that right down the center. This is a symmetrical image, right? This is symmetrical balance, right? The left matches the right, right? This creates a feeling of stability, right? Makes it feel calm, makes it feel like it's controlled. These are things that you want when you're looking to, intentionally create balance in your photo. You want to feel like, when you're viewing it, the photographer was in control. This was intentional. This happened on purpose. Like, he has that eye, she has that eye, right? When you're centering it and you're creating these different compositions, you will see it. And a lot of time you'll see it in architecture, reflections, different things like this that will have that centered composition, right? To create that form of symmetry, right? Symmetry feels more, clean. It feels predictable. And it's not always, the most interesting thing that you may be looking at that makes it symmetrical. Now let's go to its sister or its brother, asymmetrical balance. This is where, asymmetrical balance comes in when both sides of the image are a little bit different but still feel equal due to the visual weight, right? So it's not directly symmetrical because it doesn't directly mirror each other on each side, but it still does hold that visual weight, right? This is where most storytelling and cinematic photography will live here, is asymmetrical balance, right? It's not directly balanced, nothing really matches, right? But also nothing feels heavy or like it carries more weight than the other on both sides, right? So my method to knowing this or seeing it or being able to visually patch it together, like I teach the students in PNG University, is called the point system, right? So instead of just counting random objects or individual objects, I count, visual weight points, right? So one person might feel heavier, right, than just a window, right? So a bright window might be 3 points. You might have these people right here that may carry more visual weight, right? On the left side of the image, you have a person or a group of people. That's 1 point. On the right side of the image, you may have a group of trees. That could be 2. That could be 1 point as well, right? So each group or each individual can be counted as 1 point on each side of the image, right? I break this down and I go through this in PNG University, and the students are actually really starting to learn it. Like, it's starting to be able to see it for real. So I love the point system. The point system is fun. It kind of makes photography into a game a bit for me, and it allows me to kind of understand it a lot deeper, because when I was trying to learn balance, man, this was one of the hardest things for me to learn. But I feel like when I really broke it apart like this and I created a point system for myself, I'm a numbers guy. I like math. So I broke it apart. I'm like, oh yeah, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point. Oh yeah, it's equal on both sides, like a pendulum. Not a pendulum, but like, a scale. It's visually weighted, right? It's visually balanced, right? So if both sides feel kind of close, then the image will feel balanced, right? Balance is about that feel, what I'm saying, about how's it feel, right? It's not directly about math, but it's about how's it feel. If you see it like, oh, something's missing over here, there's too much negative space, there's too much space. And if you don't know what negative space is, a video will be coming. It's okay. Go watch that video. If you haven't already, it's in PNG University. So now there's more types of balance also, which is radial balance, right? It's one of those crazy ones. This is one kind of like, has everything kind of all in it at once. I was explaining this to the students in last night's call, and radial balance is like, whoa, what I'm saying? Like, it kind of hits you, and when you see it, you know exactly what it is, right? So it's easy to see, easy to notice, but it's kind of hard to create and, duplicate when it comes down to radial balance, right? So what exactly is this radial balance? Radial balance is when elements are arranged around a central point, right? So no matter which direction you slice that image up, vertically, horizontally, diagonally, or any type of way that you want to chop it, like a pizza, kind of like low-key, like you slice a pizza like a circle, right? It feels balanced no matter how you cut the pie, right? Instead of, balancing left versus right, or top versus down, everything is balanced around the center point, right? So just like a pizza, right? The easiest way to understand radial balance, is like how you slice a pizza. When you slice a pizza, you spin it and keep slicing. No matter which direction you cut it, it still looks the same, and every slice comes out looking the exact same, right? So where are some places that you kind of see this radial balance mostly? You'll see radial balance a lot in aerial photography, right? You'll see it, in plazas, staircases, parking lots, different things like that. Or if you're looking straight up, for another example, if you're outside in New York City and you see the buildings, how they create, different shapes and stuff, that is another form of that radial balance, because no matter how you slice that view you're looking at, it's all balanced. And I'll insert some photos for you guys to see those as well, right? So another perfect example of that is, just like if you're looking down from a drone view, if you do drone photography, you can see that radial balance there as well, right? Looking at a map, there's different forms and different structures, like, circles, cul-de-sacs, plazas, that have these different types of radial balance. No matter how you slice it, it looks really good. A lot of this art and a lot of these different art forms come from architecture, which is pretty crazy, right? So the buildings and different things like that, when looking straight up for that example, they create repeating lines that point all towards one central point, one center, right? Even though every building may be a different building, the image always will stay balanced, right? So a lot of you guys are asking, bro, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh, this is all confusing. Why does balance even matter, right? Balance controls how long someone will stay on your photo. Balance will control how long someone will gaze at your photo trying to figure it out and look at it, right? An unbalanced image will create some tension, right? And you don't want any tension when a viewer is looking at your image or a client is trying to receive how that image is supposed to feel for them, right? A balanced image will create a flow. You want to always have visual flow in your image, right? So that way when they're looking at it, it tells a story. It makes them feel something, right? The whole goal here is to tell a story through our images, right? We want them to feel something, right? So once you understand visual weight and balance types, then your photos will, stop just being lucky and, just getting the shot. You'll stop spraying and praying, and you'll start actually being intentional and getting surgical, right? So now that you've got these three different types of balance down, visual weighted balance, symmetrical and asymmetrical, brother and sister relationship, don't worry about those two, right? And then radial balance, these all are different tools, but they all have the same goal, right? So they all control where the eye goes and how an image overall feels, right? And that's when your photography will become intentional, and that's when you'll be able to get surgical, right? So save this video, go look at your last 10 photos and ask yourself, where's the weight in these photos? Where's the balance? Is there any balance? I love you guys. I'll leave the link down below to PNG University, where we kind of go over all of this and get really surgical. For PNG University, we go from 0 to surgical all in a year. It's a year-long project, you guys. It's a year-long class where every single month we're focusing on a different framework of photography. The month of January, we're focusing on composition and framing. The month of February, we'll be focusing on posing. The month of January, February, March, we'll be focusing on lighting, both natural, and we'll be talking on studio lighting, natural light, and strobes and continuous lighting as well as all the different modifiers. Then the month of April, as we kind of go to April and push on, we're gonna do client management. Every different sector of photography, and being a hybrid, I'll be going over everything in detail. We have classes every Monday and Wednesday. If you want to learn more, the link is down below for you guys to check out the mentorship. Until next time, taxi.
Oh, there's the cookies. Be right back.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it.